Alright, welcome back. Today is part 175 or something like that. We're going to be building a burner or a tube, an injection tube for the ribbon burner. So what I have here is a 3/4 by half copper fitting, 3/4 male pipe thread to a 1/2 inch copper, and this is not a pass-through, or it wasn't when I bought it. It is now. I ground that out right there. So now you can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever, and these are called stub outs. This is 1/2 inch and it's got a tip on it where it's just closed off. You stub this out and then you cut it off and do whatever with it, but it holds pressure so you can test your system. So you know, you can test them without a valve. So anyway, I cut this off a little bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a 1/16 hole right in the end of this thing. I don't know if you can see that or not, maybe, but anyway, it's got a little flat spot right there. I'm going to drill a 1/16 hole in it, and for that, if you hear some sound like a fire burning, well, there is. I'm cooking my trying to set that the refractory in my forge there. It's got that sodium hydroxide or whatever, the water glass in it, and it's not really setting up like that. And I fired the lid a day or so ago, and I fired it, and it's made it real hard and everything, and I went over top of it and painted some more water glass on it and heated it back up for a little bit. Now it's really hard. So anyway, get back to this. Now this is going to screw in my 1.5 inch by 3/4 bushing. I know it's galvanized. I don't have any muriatic acid, and I was at the store and I probably walked right by it and didn't get it. So, but anyway, if it burns off, it'll be fine. I'm outside. So if it gets hot enough to do that, you know, I'll be in trouble. So anyway, I'm going to screw this in here just for right now. It's not a big deal on this. And I'm going to stick this stub out in there and let it come across up through here like this. Okay, it wouldn't do that before. Now I have got a 1/2 inch male adapter, another one, and I'm going to pull them nearly together. Then I had to go to heat and air conditioning place to get it, and luckily I know the owner, and I used to work for him, or I've worked for him, done contracting jobs for him years ago. So anyway, so I bought a stick of silver sorter, 15%. It's high heat, so once I get it melted in here, and it shouldn't be a problem. All the wells will be outside here, and that's it for that. Then I have here's the plan. Here is a 1/2 inch pipe to a 3/8 flare that I will screw on right there on this. Then I'm not rigged up to do that right now, but anyway, get this. Here is my 1/4 inch needle valve. It's got a directional arrow on it, one way only. There. Now I have fittings to go from 1/4 inch pipe to 3/8 flare. In other words, I'm not going to be using any 1/4 inch copper or anything. The valve's will allow that to do that. The reason I'm going big on this is for volume. You can get by with less volume on propane than you can on natural. If you're going to do this with natural gas, these pipes would have to be about 4 times as big. Now, it runs at less than a half a pound, and that's what standard natural gas is. But they have orifices in them, some things as big as the end of this 3/8 flare tube. Now, not all of them do, but they'll have, some of them will have them as big as the hole in this. So let me screw this out where hopefully you could see it. Now, they'll have holes in them nearly this big, and the more BTUs they are, the bigger these are, and the more volume that you're supposed to have. I watched Alex Steele. He's got that big new forge, and he can't get it hot enough. Well, he's got quick connects on natural and flexible lines, so he can move it around a little bit. That's fine, but they need to be bigger. They run 1.25 inches from the meter, probably 200 feet. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but on this, unless they're running street pressure through that gauge, through that meter to that, he don't have the volume. Now, that don't come liquid to boil off. Now, I used to do, like I said, heating and air conditioning. I run millions of or hundreds of thousands of feet of gas pipe. Now, I know the difference between, natural and propane. Propane, I could put a 3/4 inch pipe on here, and with a high pressure regulator on it, and run it whatever I wanted to in here about it. On 3/4 inch, 1 inch would be even better to run a big forge and whatever else, 2 or 3 forges, whatever like that. But when you get down to where you need to go to your equipment, you throttle it down. You go from high pressure to low pressure, which is on propane is 11 inches of water, which that would be about right on the propane too. I mean on the natural. But you have to have such a volume of natural to make it burn right. You have to have, and when you light something, that flame takes more. The reason it don't get hotter is the flame takes more fuel and it sucks the pipe dry. Now, that's the reason you got to go big. And I mean, you really got to go big on natural. Going that far, everything, he should have had at least a 2 or 2.5 inch pipe, maybe even a 3, run all the way over there, and run a 3 inch over there and trunk line it, just like doing heating and air conditioning. You run a big supply line, and you take the runs off of it, you drops off of it, and then you leave that at full pressure till you get to where you're going, to right above where you're going. Then you drop it to the pressure. That way you maintain that you have enough volume behind it to crank it up and do whatever you want to. Now they like to just do 2 pounds. Now street pressure is a whole lot more than 2 pounds. It's probably, I don't know, probably 15 or 20 or more. And if they could run 6 to 8 pounds over there, then that would be on 1.25 inch line. That probably still wouldn't be enough to run both these big forges and water heater and the office heat and the shop heat and everything else. I don't know. It's still 1.25 inches is awful small. I mean awful small. And he said the other day when he was lighting it up that he couldn't get the temperature he wanted out of it. That's why. He just don't have the volume. Pressure's pressure. You can jack this propane up to 30, 40 pounds and go. And you only need just a little bit of it, because when it boils off into vapor, it goes. And it's the reason you see people set them in hot water, tanks of hot water. They keep that gas boiling. and that liquid boiling and making gas to come out. Once it gets so cold, it stops or slows way down. So that's the reason they put it in hot water. Natural don't hardly have that same problem like that. You know, it's natural gas is good, but it's not I'd probably make a lot of people mad, but the BTUs for natural to do work with like that is not really worth it. I mean, if you've got that big a forge running and everything else like that, unless you're willing to put in some major money to put in some good welded big pipe, 3-4 inch, to bring it in, because you know you have to do volume. See, I done a service, yeah, like a YMCA, kind of a youth center, and the gas pipe that we run in there, we had to call a welder in. It was coming from, it was natural. To figure everything that we needed, we had 2 units outside that was 350,000 BTUs each. We had a ceiling mounted reservoir heater that was rated at 100,000 BTUs, and we had 4 air conditioners units, gas packs, up in separate systems, and they was rated at I think 100,000 each. And plus the kitchen, they had stove, the fryer, and the flat top, and ovens, and everything else like that in there. Just for that, we had to weld up and fix a 6-inch pipe in. A 6-inch pipe in. And the first drop off of it was the kitchen. And it's still, we had to run 6-inch pipe to get the volume of gas needed to produce the BTUs that they was rated for. And yeah, we run 6-inch pipe, and we run it, and the welder come in, and we helped him get it all jigged up so he could weld it up there in place. We cut it all and beveled it and done everything to it. Then he welded on he cut them out and welded the drops on the sides of it so we could come on with our drops and pipe. So yeah, natural takes a lot of volume. Propane, not so much. So anyway, but like I said, I'm just going with this as 3/8 instead of reducing it down. It'll be reduced down enough right here at this end, and the pressure will keep it blowed in there. So anyway, I'm gonna set this up, and I'm gonna try my best to the silver sorter. It's been a while. I've got my map guys here. Hopefully it will get hot enough. It's supposed to, and it's designed for soldering and brazing, and hopefully that this 15% silver will flow for me. I'm gonna clean everything up real good. Take a little piece of sandpaper and clean it all up, and then I'll mock everything up and come back to you. All right. Okay, I got it tightened down, everything. So here's a T right there. I hope you can see. There goes beyond that. So there I'll have to go up. It hits and comes out. Goes this way. So I'll mix it up real good. Put it in a slipstream there. So anyway, let's get on here. Let me cut a piece of 3/8 pipe. About, let's see, probably about that long. got plenty of 3/8 if I need to move it, do anything else with it. Okay, this end looks like doo-doo. It's had tape on it. It's green, could be a rotten spot in it. So I'll just cut that off. Alright, that'll work. Deburr it there a little bit. Built-in deburring tool on this one. Alright. Now, handy dandy pipe tubing flower, and it's set for 1/4. One side's 1/4, one side's 5/16. That won't work. Half. There's 3/8. These rotate in here, so it'll do 5/8 from 3/16 to 5/8. There's 3/8. There. It says so on it. Now put this in here. Get it straight. Bring it up just a little higher than that. And then, oh, put the squeeze on her. Put it together. Now, alright, now we take this. Real thing, I've had this in a long time. There ain't no telling how many flowers this thing's done in its time. Probably 25 or 30 years old. I don't do so many of them anymore, but now. Alright, let's see what this does. Now, I have to get a piece of sandpaper there. Any little burr on there will cause it to leak, or can cause it to leak. Now, no, I didn't goof up and forget to put my nuts on. I got one. Put one on there like that. It's got one flower. So there's that one. Now, flip, dropping everything. So now there's one. There's the other one. It's not a problem. That looks good. Proof will be in the pudding, though. Like I said, just open this up. I like this one a whole lot better than this the straight bar that's got all the holes in different holes in it. Oh, mercy! Yeah. Matter of fact, I hadn't used this thing since I had my wrist operated on. So. Feels a little rough, so let's take that sandpaper. You don't want to hurt yourself with it. So there we go. Now, yep, that feels good. Okay, it's this is out. So up there. So now this. Some people say you don't have to do brass to brass, but I do. I'll go right there. Now, get that off. Do this. Now, if I can get everything going, I'm going to light the burner off today just to see if I've got enough air, too much air, or whatever. I've got a valve, so I'm going to plumb it with PVC pipe once I get down away from the burner and way below the forge and away from it, so the heat won't migrate backwards, and do that. So, all right, let me get over here and tighten this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got it set up. I've got a shot vac going on it right now, so, and I've throttled the air down some, so turned the lights off so it's darkened up in here so we can see it. I've not lit this, not done anything. So let me turn the gas on. Do that in a little bit. Don't know how much. I'll open this. Alright, take this, that's it. It's almost completely off. There we go. Yep. I may have to get me a gate, right down and buy me a gate valve. Once it gets all with some backdraft on it, it should be alright. So, oh, that's hot. Well, there it is. It's burning. All of them's touching. So, wind's blowing through here. So, yeah, I may have to wind up and buy me a dang gate valve now, it looks like. And once it gets in the forge there, should be able to get it on down. Figure out, I don't have a pressure gauge on there to see how many pounds I'm putting through, so I'll have to put one of them on there. And somewhere in the line. But till then, there she is. It's hot. I got it sitting on that steel grate right there in front of the anvil. Well, you see the anvil in that. And the wind's coming kind of out of the southwest. Like it's going to rain again. My neighbor's cutting hay, so it's going to rain. So today's the first day it's not rained in a while. Well, since last Monday it didn't rain. When I get this up and going, get my forge going, everything, I may give this head right here to some new smith, blade maker. He wants to make his own Venturi forge. It's already set up. I ain't touched it. I've been took the stuff off. Got the same nozzle in it. So the bell on the other end of it for the Venturi was burn all the pieces. So anyway, you'd have to get a new piece of pipe and a new bell. He, she, whoever. But I got to get this up and running, get my forge mounted and everything else, and I'll let everybody know. So anyway, it's been a good one. It served me for what, 3 years now, with no problems, no complaints, other than I just wasn't getting hot enough with one burner to do any forge welding or anything. So, but anyway, and my bricks wasn't no good for that either. So there's the working end, the business end of it. So like I said, let me get this thing up and going and we'll see. Alright, till next time, it's Bobby Shields saying God bless.